Chapter 32. Sitting under the little pine, I stared out to sea and tried to gather my shaken wits. One twin came close to me, talked to me. She had a scar on her left wrist. The other did the doppelganger effects. I would never get close to her. I would see her on the terrace, in the starlight, but always at a distance. Twins. It was extraordinary, but I had begun to realize enough about Conchis to see that it was predictable. If one was very rich, why not the rarest? Why anything but the strangest and the rarest? I concentrated on the lily I knew, the scar lily. This morning, even last night, she had set out to make herself attractive to me, and if she really was Conchis's mistress, I couldn't imagine why he should allow it, and so obviously leave us alone together, unless he was much more profoundly perverted than I could bring myself seriously to suspect. She gave strongly the impression that she was playing with me, amusing herself as much as acting a role at Conchis's command. But all games, even the most literal between a man and a woman, are implicitly sexual, and here on the beach she had almost ingenuously set out to captivate me. It must have been on the old man's orders. Yet behind the flirtatiousness, the mischief, I had glimpsed a different sort of amusement, and one not compatible with that of a mere actress for hire. Besides, her performance had been much closer to inspired amateurishness than to the professional. Everything beneath the surface hinted at a girl from a world and background very like my own. A girl with both an inborn sense of decency and an inborn sense of English irony. In theatrical terms, the effect, despite the elaboration of the mounting, was much more of a family charade than of the wished-for total illusion of the true theatre. In her every glance and humor hung the suggestion that, of course, my leg was being pulled. Indeed, I knew already that this was what attracted me to her, beyond the physical. In a way, the flirting had been overkill. I had been set to chase from the moment I saw her ambiguous smile the week before. In short, if it was her role in the charade to seduce me, I should be seduced. I couldn't do anything about it. I was both a sensualist and an adventurer, a failed poet, still seeking resurrection in events, if not in lines. I had to drink the wave once offered, which led me to Allison. Her radiogram was like grit in the eye. When one particularly wants to see clearly, I could guess what had happened. My letter of the Monday before would have arrived on Friday or Saturday in London. She would have been on a flight out of England that day, perhaps feeling fed up. Half an hour to kill, at Elenicon, on impulse, a cable. But it came like an intrusion of dispensable reality into pleasure, of now artificial duty into instinct. I couldn't leave the island. I couldn't waste 3 days in Athens. I read the wretched thing again. Conchis must have read it too. There was no envelope. Demetriadis would have opened it when it was first delivered at the school. So Conchis would know I was invited to Athens, and would guess that this was the girl I had spoken about, the girl I must swim toward. Perhaps that was why he had had to go away. There might be arrangements to cancel for the next weekend. I had assumed that he would invite me again, give me the whole 4 days of half-term, that Allison would not take my lukewarm offer. I came to a decision, a physical confrontation. Even the proximity that Allison's coming to the island might represent was unthinkable. Whatever happened, if I met her, it must be in Athens. If he invited me, I could easily make some excuse and not go. But if he didn't, then after all I would have Allison to fall back on. I won either way. The bell rang again for me. It was lunchtime. I collected my things and, drunk with the sun, walked heavily up the path. But I was covertly trying to watch in every direction, preternaturally on the alert for events in the mask. As I walked through the windswept trees to the house, I expected some strange new sight to emerge, to see both twins together. I didn't know. I was wrong. There was nothing. My lunch was laid one place. Maria did not appear. Under the muslin lay tarama salata, boiled eggs, and a plate of loquats. By the end of the meal, under the windy colonnade, I had banned Allison from my mind, and was ready for anything that Conchis might now offer. To make things easier, I went through the pine trees to see where I had lain and read of Robert Fulks the Sunday before. I took no book, but lay on my back and shut my eyes.